What does net worth mean?
Oh, I'm glad you asked this one, Steve, because net worth has a very clear definition. It is the total assets minus the total liabilities of an individual or a company. And it kind of represents their overall financial position. Now, if you peruse YouTube or Twitter or any of these platforms, there's a lot of financial commentators that like to publish their personal net worth regularly, and they're documenting their growth as a individual. Maybe they're into personal finance. And one thing I hear all the time is, well, I don't consider my home as a part of my net worth. And I'm sorry, sir or ma'am, you don't get to make that decision. Net worth has a clear definition. It is the total assets minus the total liabilities of an individual or company. And that means anything you own goes into it and anything you owe goes into it. Now, you might not think that certain assets are really an important part of your long term financial plan, and that's fine. If you bought a boat and you think, well, I'm just going to keep it till it's worthless, you might not in your brain include that in your net worth. But the fact is, if somebody were to come along and liquidate everything you had, that boat would have some value until it had none, and that would be a part of the asset side of your net worth. And if you borrowed some money to buy it, that would be on the liabilities side.
So if I took the bundle of everything I owe on my car, on my small business, on my house, on my credit cards, and say my only asset is $100,000 in the stock market and investments, and then my house is worth 900,000, but then everything that I owe, that bundle is a million, my net worth is zero.
$0. And believe it or not, you can have a negative net worth. I would even say most people at the very beginning of their kind of financial lives start out with a negative net worth. Maybe they had to take on some debt to go to school, or maybe they bought a house that went down in value. You might have a negative net worth early on, and that's not necessarily a problem. But we want net worth, when we think about individuals, to be kind of headed in the upward direction over time.
It's a way of tracking how you're being successful or failing financially. Is that right?
Yeah, if we just boil it down to numbers, I would say net worth is one measure of how things are going financially, especially if net worth is increasing or decreasing. That can be really useful data.
Great. For more financial education as well as inspiration and equipping for the biblical family leader, subscribe right now. You can do it right now to the Abraham's Wallet podcast. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platforms.